Hello. Wait, what do we even say?
Hello.
Hi.
Has it been that long?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. It's Talia and Sofia, and welcome to Lab Reports, where we live, love, lab.
So true. You got it. It has been so long since we've seen you guys for so many reasons. For one, we had breaks. I was sick. We were both just really busy. We just had a lot.
I was sick. We
Yeah,
haven't filmed since I was sick even.
That's true.
That's because, I got sick, then Talia got sick. Like, it was a rough time.
Back to back. But we're here. We hope you guys have enjoyed the past few interviews we've had. I know it was a break from our usual format, but we got some really cool insight from a lot of amazing people. We've heard a lot of really good feedback from our fans. So that has been great.
Yes, keep watching the videos, guys.
Yes.
Your support means so much to us, and I mean, like, as we've spoken about, we're graduating, and we've talked a lot about, like, I think our original plan was to leave the podcast with maybe some other Fordham students, but should I add this for them?
Yeah, you can.
But since we got rejected to become a club, I really think that, I'm gonna make this a disclaimer too for any younger student thinking of doing this, and also for you, is I do just think that it is very difficult for two seniors to apply for a club, and I've heard but oftentimes, like, your first attempts gets rejected by USG. And then, like, if you try again, like, usually gets accepted. And so they do that to, like, dissuade seniors from doing it. So you don't just, like, start a club and then abandon it, you know?
Which, in our defense, we had been reaching out since our junior year to start it.
We have. So.
And I do think, even though they rejected our club because Science Club does that, we are something.
Yeah, they didn't read our thing. Like, they just saw the diversity aspect.
And they were just like, oh, you know.
Yeah, they didn't read that I don't even think they knew it was a podcast.
Yeah.
Because they didn't say anything about that when they rejected it.
But whatever the case, all that to say that even though we're graduating, we will try our best to still get episodes out to you.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're still going to be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just think that, first of all, I mean, me and Talia are going to be friends for life, but as most people know, when you don't live in the same place as someone, it is very easy to, like, you know, not be on top of your calls, not be on top of your check-ins. So this will be, like, a really great reminder for us to keep checking in with one another and to keep, doing this podcast. And, I'm excited for future podcasts.
No, me too. And we're also going to be doing two very different things in very different places. So that's going to give way for a lot of new insights, advice, new interviews. So it's going to be very excited for all the things that we will have to offer you guys. Also, if you don't already, please follow our Instagram. We often ask for advice on what you guys want to hear us talk about, or any questions you might have. So that also helps us with knowing what you guys want to see and what you guys want to hear.
And any, like, updates that we have in regards to the podcast, like if we're taking a break, or if we want to, like, announce a new episode, or if we have, like, again, a poll of who do you want to hear us interview, or what do you want to hear us talk about, like, please go follow our Instagram, which is, let me pull it up. It is labreport.fclc. Then should we keep the FCLC part in the future?
Oh, we really shouldn't, should we?
No. So stay tuned for,
Yeah, you know what? I'll change it, and when I edit this, I will put the image of what
what
the new handle is.
You should.
So, yeah.
Damn, we're at 70 followers, actually.
That's actually pretty good.
I know, right?
Damn, all right, we did that.
Yeah, I know. We should get to 100, though, before we graduate.
I think we could.
I think we definitely could. We just, fell off with the Instagram a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah, we'll get that back up.
All
right, so this is a shorter episode. It was mostly to give you guys an update, but we're not going to leave you with nothing. So, maybe we can do it like segment style, where it's like, frustrated.
Oh my god, yes, freshman versus senior year. Yeah. Talia, why don't you start this one off?
Okay, so I feel like freshman year me, I had like more of a spark in my eye. Like I not the eye roll. You can't tell me you weren't also coming in like, oh my gosh, STEM.
No,
I'm gonna
I
be a
was.
doctor.
We were very different freshmen.
Bro, I was literally like, oh my gosh, like college. I'm gonna be like in STEM and I'm learning STEM things. Like I was so excited and I had so much like a hope and dreams and like I was very naive.
Okay, yeah.
And I also was convinced that like it was gonna be like the movies where I wouldn't be able to have time to like make friends or like have a life because I'd be studying all the time, which I did the complete opposite.
Freshman year. Oh,
yeah,
freshman year.
Freshman year. I literally.
Because freshman year wasn't that hard in terms of like.
Yeah,
classes.
no, it really wasn't. But like at least for the first week, I would like my friends would be like, "Oh, let's go do this." I was like, "No, I have to study," and I'd be really dramatic about it. And I would just sit at the table from morning till night while they went out and did things. And then
what
after.
What did you have to study for?
Nothing. I was reading the textbook before we had classes to make sure I knew biology. And then we took our first exam.
You were that girl.
And I was like, wait, why did I do that?
Damn, you were that. What'd you get on the first exam?
I got a 90.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. And then after that, I was like, okay, there's no.
Yeah,
need
because
to be
with
that
the
way.
curve, you got like a 110 or something.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I was fine. So then after that, I started going out every weekend, which I don't recommend either necessarily because that was crazy. But compared to me now, I'm definitely a lot more jaded. Orgo and chemistry will do that to you. Junior year was definitely, I think, the breaking point for me. But I'm a lot more realistic. I understand that balance can be had. I still have the same hopes and dreams, which is pretty impressive, I think, that like I knew what I wanted and I like even though I explored everything else, I stuck with that. But yeah, I'm just more
explored everything else.
Well, like I didn't know what research was until I started college. I didn't even know that was a thing I could be doing.
Okay.
I did like clinical experience, and that, if anything, even more so made me want to go into medicine. I don't know. I just feel like in college, I learned about all the other things I could be doing besides becoming a doctor, and I still decided that's what I wanted to do. Yeah,
that makes sense.
So,
okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I think it was a little bit different because, like, I came into college, like, more so, like, burnt out in a way. Like, I definitely didn't have that, like, I came to college more, like, I'm not gonna lie, with a chip on my shoulder because, like, I thought, like, everyone was gonna be a lot more stupid compared to me, which is, like, really bad.
I mean, I'm sure the confidence was definitely, like, helpful and, like,
it
not
definitely
getting, like,
was.
imposter syndrome or anything like that.
Honestly, the confidence was helpful because it didn't mean that, like, I wasn't, like, I still studied a lot for our bio exam. And, I mean, honestly, Calc 2 is really what taught me that I was not as smart as I thought I was. Yeah, but anyways, it wasn't like, but to be honest, it wasn't like, it honestly made me happier finding out that there was, like, a lot of other smart people at Fordham. Just because I had never heard of Fordham before, you know what I mean?
That's true.
Like,
it was, like, the last school I thought I was going to come to.
Exactly. Like, I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know there was, like, a STEM community. I think it's pretty fucking valid if, like, you're someone who knows that you've been good at, like, science and math to come to a school that you've never heard of, never heard them have, like, any sort of STEM program and, like, think you were going to be one of the smarter ones.
Yeah,
like,
no, I don't blame you for that.
You know, so that's kind of what I came into Fordham thinking, like, and then I also was just, like, burnt out in different ways. Like, I was burnt out from squash. I was burnt out, like, from friend drama in a way because I had, like, this massive friend group in high school with, like, 20 people. And just, like, I went to an all-girls school, so it's just drama everywhere. And so I think I just came to college, like, excited to, you know, focus on my studies and, like, have a couple of good friends and not play squash. And then not all of those things went according to plan. Like, I obviously played squash. I mean, friends, like, they come and go. Like, that's just college. Like, I'm definitely not friends with the same people I was friends with freshman year, with the exception of you, but we weren't even that close freshman year, so.
Took a sec.
Okay, well, wait, now versus me now. I think I just thought of myself a lot more highly freshman year in like a different way than I do now. You know, like I was still very insecure about other things freshman year, but like I really thought like freshman year I thought I was like had the coolest style, like I thought I was like super smart. I thought I was like super like I don't know, you know, I thought I was like a really cool person. But I still think I'm a very cool person now, but I'm more like Sophia, like you know, like it's not realistic to like go through your life like thinking like all the time you're like so cool, you know. So I was just more, yeah, I don't know how to explain this very well, but yeah, I think all of those classes really did a number on me, especially neuroscience. It's so funny because you just said orgo and chem, and I was just sitting outside with Valeria and Ozra, who for reference all three of us are like more Valeria's a neuroscience major too, but they're both in the grade below us. And Ozra, I've talked about her. She did research with me this past summer with Dr. DeGrandi, and she's a biochem major. And I asked Valeria, like, I asked both of them, like, what were your hardest classes at Fordham? And Valeria was like, neuro and biochem. And Ozra was like, yeah, biochem. And neither one of them said organic chemistry. And then they asked me, and I was like, honestly, like, I wouldn't put orgo on that list either. Like, I would put neuro and physio above orgo, like, on that list. And then Valeria was like, I'm just not a bio person. Like, that's why biochem was, like, so difficult for me, and that's why I hated neuro. And I was like, this is crazy. And she was like, I'm more of a chem person, and Ozra was like, me too. And I was like, me too. Like, I didn't realize that, like, I didn't know anyone else who was more of a chem person, or that. I think that's just more rare for our grade, you know? Like, our grade is either more, like, bio forward or computational. Like, there isn't someone who's super chemistry forward. But yeah, I don't really know why I went on that side rant. But
no, because it is interesting.
Neuro really did a number on me. Dr. Rodanis, that class was really, really difficult. And I don't care what you say about me saying that a lot because it was really difficult. So
I think it would have been easier if orgo wasn't another class you were taking at the same time.
And saying, I was taking psych, which was hard. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that required a lot.
Like, intro, what is it? Foundations of Psychology.
Because you had to know so much.
Yeah, that was hard. People, like, shit on psych. People being me.
But also, we all took a very different, not we all, but a lot of us took a psych class where it was open note. You didn't have open notes,
because
so
it was COVID. Yeah, because because I was stupid and I took like a psych class, but not the one we were supposed to take freshman year. Right. That was all open note.
Damn.
And then I took my real one, and it was really difficult.
So you really, your junior year really put.
I mean, both of ours.
Yeah.
You took bioinformatics at that same time.
I did. I forgot I did that. Damn. Well, what a good transition into how many shots to.
Dude, I don't even take shots. Like,
so this will be a very
this is really big for me. Indicator. Like, I can't even take shots.
Okay, so in this segment, we're gonna see how many shots it would take us to do something we did in our 4 years again. Which, considering neither of us are fans of shots, this will probably be a very skewed response. Yeah. So even one, let's for clarification, one shot is a lot for me. Okay. No, same here.
Yeah, we're not big shot girls. You can have fun and not take shots.
That heavy on that. Just.
How many shots to relive that specific night where we were in the SL?
The all-nighter before the orgo exam?
Yeah, but it wasn't even before the orgo exam. It was like the night before. It was the day before, our last day before the orgo exam. So it was like 2 days before the orgo exam, but we still all like.
Was that when wait, I'm trying to remember what night that was.
You're thinking of the correct night.
But the day before that?
Yeah.
What happened the day before that?
we were still all in that room.
Are you? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it
that's
was like a
when you were
bender.
like, yeah, and I wasn't even planning on taking an all-nighter, and I stayed there until 4 a.m. and then went home and came back to school the next
I completely
day
forgot about how
at
long that
like
stretch
1
was.
p.m. Yeah.
So for context, we basically sat in the same SL room
I was the first one to get there at 11:15 a.m.
and just straight through 24 hours, I guess. We were just studying.
Almost, yeah. You guys definitely, like, all of you left after me.
Yeah. And then I remember I came back after it. Fuck.
Yeah, and Talia, this is like, we've definitely alluded to this story, but this is when Talia like wrote on the board like T-7 hours till bedtime, and
I
it was
pushed, like the chairs together, and I was like,
and it was like midnight, and then Talia like didn't want to be in like the center of the room with us because she's like has this whole thing about how she like needs to be like alone to study it, and like she can't, which is very valid, you know, not shitting on you, but just for the point of the story, this funny, where she has to be like alone, so she was like in the complete opposite end of the corner, like writing on the board like so slowly, and you just look at her and she's like and then every 5 minutes she's asleep like on her little handmade bed. So, how many shots for you to relive that?
Probably a solid 3.
Yeah, wow.
That was a bad night.
Like 3 in a row, like.
Yeah, I wouldn't even stop.
God, that would make me vomit. My mom and grandparents so watching this are like, oh, God.
How many shots would you take to not have to do that night again?
Oh, wow. I think like the minimum amount of shots like that doesn't give me alcohol poisoning.
That's crazy.
Like that was a really awful, a really awful night. I just like, I hate finals. I've said this before. I hate finals. They mess with me like mentally, physically. Like we were sitting in that room and eating like shit.
And then I guess we only have one shot situation, really. Because the thing is, too, it's like, you could ask me about Orgo, I could give you an answer. I could ask you about Neuro, you can give me an answer, but the other person would have a completely different perspective.
Yeah.
And then, at the end of the day, like, most of the experiences we've had, it's just been you had to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
So then, we can move on to the top 5 lists.
I also just, like, want to say a little disclaimer, but I was just, like, chatting with Azra and Valeria, and, like, Valeria was like, yeah, I just don't know, like, really anyone in my grade who's a neuroscience major. And I was like, yeah, like, you think you don't, and then you're in seminar together senior year, and then, like, you realize you've been taking classes with them for the past 4 years. And Valeria was like, yeah, I know you're right. Like, I know, like, if I try really hard, like, I could think of some people and all of this stuff. But it was, and I mean, it just more made me, like, not sad, because it's not, like, we have a bunch of friends, like, in the department. I mean, the department's small. We're all, like, friends with one another. We're all friends, I think, also because we spend so much time together. We know each other, and we're all graduating. But it did just kind of make me sad because, you know, that they're, like, the reason we're doing this podcast, such a large one, is to, like, tell people, like, stay connected, like, stay friends, like, reach out, do study groups together, like, meet people, all of this stuff. And I just think that it's inevitably, like, built into not just STEM, like, most times when you're in this, like, weird age, like, from, like, 19 to your mid-20s, where it so matters, like, who has this job and who has that job and who's getting these grades and that. Like, it's such a competitive time in our lives. And I don't know, I just think, like, especially if you're in STEM, like, you could use as many friends as you can. And especially if they're STEM people, like, start study groups. Like, I'm such a people person, and I get depressed when I don't see people for an extended amount of time. And for me, study groups, like, help a lot because it's, like, my time that I can still socialize and, like, see people and be with people, but I'm also getting my work done and studying. Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you. But yeah, so keep in contact, reach out to people, stay friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a little disclaimer.
So true. All right, now we're gonna be kicked out of here in like 5-10 minutes. So this last thing we're gonna do rapid fire, and that is top 5 lists. But I want to echo Sophia's advice because that is extremely, extremely, extremely true. All right, so top 5 lists. Rapid fire, ready?
Okay.
Top 5 study meals.
Those little donuts, like the powdered donuts, crepes, pasta with red sauce, that should be number 1, and, ramen.
That's good.
Was that 5?
I think maybe. It sounds like
Whatever.
it.
4
Okay,
or 5.
I think I have a very similar list. I would say crepes, pizza, ramen, fruit cups, hot dogs.
Wait, hot dogs is a good one.
Hot dogs are so easy.
I just don't make them.
That's fair. See, Livia and I, we have a hot dog toaster.
I know
now.
Because you got it for her birthday, or someone got it for you.
Yeah, I got
it
for her for her birthday.
Yeah.
So lit. Next one, top 5 things we've learned in classes that has stuck with us.
Bruh, I can't do this rapid fire. Oh, I mean, okay. Wait, do I have to go first?
You want me to go first for this one?
No, I just want to go first.
Okay.
This is again going to be rapid fire, so these aren't going to be like the most important things I've learned, but number 1, that Alzheimer's can be prevented by learning a second language, like doing more exercise, just your aging brain, like that's how you can maintain an aging brain. I think that's just like really interesting, to be honest, especially like the Mediterranean diet part. Second thing, you can make I literally know how to make aspirin, and you can make it in a lab, and I think that's pretty fucking lit.
This is tough. Let me know if you want to pass it off to me, and I can do the last ones.
I don't know. Now I'm thinking about like biolab, like how like you can use gel electrophoresis for forensics. Like that's really cool, and like I know how to do that as well. I think it's really cool that I don't get queasy doing dissections anymore. I mean, like, I've learned all of this cool stuff in class, but I also want to keep it broad enough, because if I start getting into specifics with, like, enzymes and processes. Oh, I think it's really cool. I honestly think glycolysis and gluconeogenesis is really cool. Wait. It's glycolysis, and what's the opposite? Gluconeogenesis. No.
Glycolytic. It's wait.
No.
Gluconeogenesis and glycolysis. Glycolysis is the breakdown of glucose. Gluconeogenesis is the creation of glucose.
Okay. So gluconeogenesis and glycolysis, I think that's really cool, actually.
Nice.
Oh, well, yeah, and that's just in general. I know how, like, you can consume food, and, like, this is what I think and this is biochem. Okay, wait, I have it. I think that it's really cool that I know how, and, like, not just biochem, and it's physio, too, and just bio in general, but how you can eat a meal and how it is broken down, like, every part of that meal, how it is broken down, and every part of your... not every part, but like in different parts of your body, and how not only it's broken down, but how it is
like excreted.
Yes.
Nice.
I think that's pretty cool.
Okay. Very nice. Mine are like stupid things. First,
just had stupid things.
I think learning about the blue people in Dr. Luckett's class was crazy. The fact that they were blue people because of some genetic thing, and they not interbred, but it was like within that generation.
Yes.
And they like advocate for blue rights and stuff. And the first blue president. That was crazy. That was pretty awesome.
Henrietta Lacks too.
Henrietta Lacks. I was gonna say that. That was crazy
Lacks,
with the cells. That was pretty insane. Another thing, when we did the earthworm dissection and we found out they had multiple hearts. I don't know if you remember that, but I was like, holy shit.
No, the only thing I remember about the earthworm dissection is that when we anesthetized it, like pooped a lot.
Oh, in neuro? That was crazy.
And it made me really uncomfortable.
That's fair. Fourth thing that was crazy that I learned, Shootsies. Wow, this is actually hard. It was really cool learning, like when we did like the fly breeding and learning about how genes
that was
work. That was
super
crazy.
cool. Yeah,
Like popping them out and
you
seeing like,
know,
oh shit, like they have no wings.
you know,
Yeah.
sometimes I do it in my head, like
The Punnett
like
squares.
Mendelian genetics, because I'm like, both my parent, like my mom has brown eyes and both her parents have brown eyes, and my dad has blue eyes and his dad has blue eyes. His dad has blue eyes, but his mom has green eyes, and then I have green eyes, Maria has blue eyes, and Laura has brown eyes. So like I'll always do the Punnett square.
That's so funny.
I know, but it
it's
works.
Like, it's really
it's
cool.
super interesting,
yeah.
and it works. Like it makes sense. Like, and also I just think it's interesting because it's like no one in like neither one of my parents has green eyes, but like my grandma has green eyes, so that means that both of them had to carry like the recessive gene, and then it was like our like in my head like small g, and I'm like I'm small g and I have green eyes.
So true.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sure there's like so much more like complexity that goes into it, but
it's still pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then I guess fifth thing, this is also kind of stupid, that you can cut a planaria in half and it'll regenerate.
That's really cool though.
That was an awesome project.
I think it's
like
really
slice
cool.
Them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they grew out all like, and they grew like wonky back depending on like what you sliced.
It. Yeah.
I remember that because we were together when we did that. Yeah.
Aww. Wow.
I'm getting so emo.
I know.
I'm getting so. Also, for context, I can't believe we didn't even say this when we started the pod, but this is our last day of classes.
Yeah.
I know you don't have class today, but I did, and today is technically like the last day of FCLC, FCRH classes. So I think that's really fucking crazy. It's definitely not sunk in to me. Sunk into me.
Yeah.
It's just definitely not sunk in yet, period.
Yeah.
Don't know why I said it like that, but ha 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 ha.
Stop.
Dude, I know, but I do kind of have to go soon.
Yeah, no, we both do. I also booked my van for 6, so let's...
Oh, fuck. Wait, you're...
Part 2, transition.
No, we should do... See you on part 2.
All right, welcome to part 2 of our final podcast as Fordham students.
This is crazy.
The energy is definitely a little bit different in the room because we literally just a couple minutes ago left our final for our major. It was a systems neuroscience final, and it was definitely something. Definitely a finale.
Senior neuroscience major is just crazy. Like sitting in that room, just like after everything, like all of the exams, I'm so tired. Like I'm just so tired. I'm so burnt out. I don't know how that exam went. I don't really think it went super well. To be completely candid, definitely did not study as much as I have for any of my previous exam. Like, I studied the least for this exam compared to any exam I've ever taken at Fordham. And, like, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's okay. We're seniors. We've done so many things that have shown how hardworking we are, that this, like, last grade for our last final, like, in the grand scheme of things, just, like, doesn't mean that much. It was a very difficult course, and yeah, I mean, I'm proud of us for even taking our second semester seniors. Like, definitely up there in my top, probably not top 5 most challenging courses, maybe like top 7.
But we did it. We molded our brains to handle it for a semester. And now we're free, and we're getting our degrees in like
I'm so
a
tired.
week and a half.
I know, it's crazy.
We're literally walking the stage, or I guess walking the grass, in like a week. As a continuation of our prior section of this video, we want to continue to reflect on college and like offer up all of the advice and insight and like memories we have from our unique experiences as neuroscience majors who was pre-med, is pre-med, was a D1 athlete while doing it. Like, I think we have very unique perspectives, like, put together.
I agree.
So, I guess, do you want to get into reflections?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obviously a very bittersweet time, and as excited as I am to finish school and graduate and get on with, like, the next chapter of my life. I mean, I just feel like too old for college, you know? So I think it's definitely time that I'm graduate, but I'm also extremely sad. I'm really sad about leaving you, about leaving just the community that I've created and like all the professors that I've met, and I'm definitely more sentimental about this because I just ran into or caught my English professor, and like she's just such an amazing woman, and Fordham really does have like such amazing professors, and I really think that everyone should what's the word I'm looking for, everyone should take advantage everyone should take advantage of that because they all are very different, have very interesting and different backstories, and that's something we kind of have tried to show through some of our interviews, and also they have a lot of resources. But also, with that being said, as important as it is to reach out and make connections with faculty and just like people around you, do not take their word as like as what's it called, as like an unwavering guide. I think I said that kind of weirdly, but
I think your point was clear.
Yeah, it's just like not everything that they tell you is 100% correct. Not all the advice that they give you should follow. It's just important to gain like different perspectives on your journey and reflect yourself on, you know, what you want to do in the future and things like that. But if you don't agree with advice or you feel in your gut that you don't like the advice that a professor gave you, then don't take it. You know, it's, as I said, it's just really important to get different perspectives and to really think about all your options. But, you know yourself best. So if this is something like it, like be it if STEM is something you really really want to pursue and you have a teacher who's, you know, not really giving you the attention or the credit that you deserve and kind of is dissuading you from that, which I know a lot of teachers do, it doesn't matter. You know, like if you really love STEM and you want to do something in STEM, then stick with it because there's so many different paths specifically in STEM that you could do, and I'm sure even our professors or whoever's our mentors or whoever's giving you advice don't even know the extent of all the possibilities or all the directions you can take. And I guess just my point is that like our faculty, while they are really amazing, they are also not all knowing. And it's really important for you to continue to do your own research and to reach out not just to people within this Fordham bubble, but to reach out to other people and just keep on like advocating for yourself and fighting for what you're passionate in and for what you believe in.
Yeah, very solid. And honestly, to even like piggyback on that, don't feel like you have to limit your potential mentors to people who are in the field you're interested in. I remember I took a graphic novel class my sophomore or junior year, and I had a professor.
At Fordham?
Yeah, at Fordham. It was we were reading a bunch of like graphic novels that like talked about culture.
Oh, I think you did tell me this. Did you read The Last Man?
No, I didn't.
so good.
I will have to read that.
It's actually so good. It's Stephen King's favorite graphic novel.
Oh my gosh! All right, I'll have to read it. I love graphic novels.
It's so good, actually, and it's like a real it's a thick book.
Okay, maybe a summer reading.
Yeah,
I'll take it up. But yeah, I mean, I recommend the class. I highly recommend the class. It was like one of the best classes I've taken at Fordham. But the professor, Professor Sohn, he came in presenting himself as like, yeah, you know, like I'm an English professor. Da da da. Come to find out, he actually got into med school, and then decided to change his career trajectory because like his passion was really in English.
Yeah.
And when he said that, I literally set up a Zoom meeting with him, and I was like, I'd love to hear your story and like how you made such a drastic change. Yeah. But it's like, in that vein, you'd be surprised how many professors can offer such rich insight into how to make sure the career you're going into is right for you, or how to navigate just like undergrad or whatever journey you're on right now. So don't limit your resources to people who you think are definitely knowledgeable, because you'd be surprised how much valuable advice and information you could get from professors of all different disciplines. So just really put yourself out there, network yourself. If you connect with someone, see what kind of mentorship you can get out of them. And then above all else, as Sophia said, only take what resonates with you. You know yourself best, as she said, and you don't want to form your journey based off of what a bunch of people have said if they don't understand the journey that you're on as well as you do.
Yeah, that's actually great. That's a really good point, because I think for like the first 2 years I took core classes. I kind of didn't put as much effort into them. I didn't pay too much attention to them. I kind of was like, this is a means to an end. I kind of just have to do these classes, like I just have to do these classes so I can graduate. I didn't really think about finding classes that I was interested in. I was just like, whatever's the first available one that fits with my schedule. And then last year, and really specifically this year, I started really thinking about, wow, like I'm so excited to continue my journey in STEM, but these past 3 years, it's just been like science, math, and coding, and that's not all I'm passionate about. That's not all I'm interested in. And I took art classes, and I took this Jane Austen and context class, and both my drawing one professor and my English professor, like, I think they're truly amazing people and really amazing teachers, and they have such a unique perspective on life. And they do offer some great advice, and they have like really great resources in their own way. Like, my drawing professor told me about this app that just tells you about like all of these. We should also go. We keep on talking about it, but we don't.
We have a whole week now to mess around.
But about all of these, like, it's called Seesaw, and it just has like all of these free galleries that usually are only up or open for a limited amount of time, like all in the city, and I think it works for like 5 different cities. And that's something that I really enjoy, and also like really relaxes me, and is like a mental like reboot or reset for me, is like going and seeing art, and just being like quiet, because it's so fun to go with someone to a museum or to a gallery, but you're not socializing, like you could just be with a friend, someone you love, someone you feel comfortable with, and just be with them in silence appreciating art. And that's just like a really random resource, but it's helped me a lot. And and my English teacher is just so great, and I'm really gonna miss her a lot. And I just saw her, and she was like, please keep in touch. I'm not an English major. Like, I'm not gonna probably do anything that, I'm sure my career would interest her because she knows who I am, but it's so completely different from her career and what she's doing on a day-to-day basis. But we really connected, and she was like, please keep in touch, and that's what I'm planning to do. So like echoing again what you said, is do not limit the connections you make to solely people in the STEM department because Fordham has such a rich array of professors and teachers from all sorts of backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something I think Talia and I realized not too late, but later in the game than I would have liked, you know? And also, if you're specifically a Fordham student and if you're a younger student, don't engage in this like Rose Hill versus Lincoln Center. I know a lot of Lincoln Center people really were vehemently against taking Rose Hill classes, and same thing with Rose Hill people, but you know, you have amazing classes at both campuses and like get outside of your comfort zone, you know? Take a little Ram van trip, take the train. It's, you know, just really I think the overall message of what Talia and I are trying to say is like truly take advantage of everything that Fordham has to offer because unfortunately they do not do a good enough job advertising all of their resources and their professors. So it's up to you to make the most of your experience here, and you really can get so much out of 4 years being at Fordham, and not just because of the faculty, but because of the people in itself. And you know, like I'm not going to sit here and say it was all rainbows and sunshines and I loved every single person I met, but every single relationship like taught me something about myself, about life, and I'm really grateful to Fordham for these past 4 years.
Yeah. But I will also say part of your gratefulness is that you made the most of your experience.
Exactly. I'm not, of course, there's a lot of people who helped me and who I appreciate, but I am the most proud or the most grateful for what I made of my time at Fordham. Not like because of the connections like I made and how I put myself out there and what I have learned about myself. So I'm grateful to Fordham for like giving me the space to grow and learn in this way and the resources, but it is not because of Fordham, you know? So yeah, you're right. And thank you for clarifying.
Of course. In a similar vein to that, I also want to urge you guys to make sure you make time for your outlets. It is a priority just as much as studying and sleeping and all of those other things are. Kind of like you said, we were kind of late to the game of like exploiting all the possibilities that we had here, but like taking art classes this semester has been so nice. And I wish I had even made more time to like sketch in my notebook earlier.
Yeah,
or like I always be like, oh, I can't read, I don't have time to read. But then it's like when I took a class that required me to read, suddenly it was like, wow, like I'm looking forward to reading. This is such a good outlet. Like you shouldn't have to be taking a course to prompt you to do the things that you enjoy. Make sure you make time for them because those are going to be, those are going to be the things that ground you as you're going through this journey. Also, what is grounding for you is grounding for you. Don't let anyone try to make you think that what you're doing is... Let me tell a story to like validate what I'm saying. So I love dancing. I love going out.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, yeah.
No, I'm not like a professional dancer.
Yeah, I thought you like choreographed dancing.
No.
I was like, damn, Talia.
I took ballet when I was like in kindergarten.
Yeah,
but, like,
me too.
Everyone did that. But I really enjoy going out. I really enjoy dancing. That's like an outlet for me. And I remember my freshman year, I was pretty good at balancing like my schoolwork and my weekend time so that on the weekends I could go out. And I remember a lot of people, especially in my like biology class or a lot of my STEM classes, weren't having the same kind of schedule as me. So it would get back to me that like, oh, why is she going out? I heard she goes out every weekend. That's crazy. What do you mean she's going out?
I think like while what you're saying is very, very true, I also think there's another layer to that, specifically being at Fordham, is that it like Lincoln Center is that it is a very small campus And as an 18-year-old, it is harder to find places to go out.
That is true.
And you had like a good group of people that you did like a lot of trial and error and like found good places that like you know, not to condone underage clubbing or drinking, but you found a way around that. But it is just in general harder to go out if you are not 21 in New York City, you know? And especially at Fordham, because it's not like this big community, it's harder to find like groups of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as much as it was like a little, not like a judgment thing, maybe even a judgment thing, like probably like, oh, Talia's like going out or how's she doing that, it definitely was combined a bit with like a FOMO jealousy, you know, because
That's very true.
I definitely like did not know the places to go freshman year. Like if I would go out, it would be because of my aunt, who's 10 years older than me and she knows the places and she's a DJ. Or it would be like random bars or like really random parties that I would happen to get invited to. So I think that is also an important point to consider because I know a lot of people who are into going out and would love to go out, but they just don't know the right places.
That's true. Okay, so then isolating the point I'm trying to make from the story I'm telling to make it, if you have something that is not therapeutic per se, but like it kind of keeps you grounded and like it keeps you going, obviously within reason, within healthy habits and stuff, make sure like if that's grounding for you, you see that through and don't let other people sway your ability to engage in what outlets are beneficial to you. It kind of ties back into the, like, you know yourself best.
Exactly.
And like if you're able to maintain a good schedule and you're able to keep the balance between what you have to do and what you want to do what you want to do if it helps you find peace and continue to move forward in your day-to-day when you're doing the harder work. That was a very big thing I had to come to terms with because it's very easy to get in your head when other people are trying to weigh in on what your journey and your outlet should look like.
Yeah, and also, I mean, we're specifically talking about going out as well, and I know with college it kind of becomes a little bit like this social competitiveness of who is going out the most and who's having a better time. And that is just like because it's college and we're at this age, like having a better time a lot of times like goes hand in hand with going out. But like you don't have to like to go out, you know? I do love to go out like here and there and I love to dance and me and Talia have had some great nights out together. But I am not like Talia. Like I don't want to set aside time so I can go out. If I don't have time, I'm not going to prioritize it. I only like to go out if I know I have nothing the next day, if I know the next day I can relax and take it easy, if I know I have nothing stressing me out. If it's in the middle of like very often during the winter, there's like 2 months in a row where I don't go out because it's cold, there's so many exams, and it's just like I don't like to like that, you know? It's not as much as an outlet for me as it is for you, and that's okay too. And that's something I had to come to terms with as well, is like, oh, like all of my friends are going out tonight, like I would love to go, but like I kind of don't want to, like, you know, and that's totally okay. And also, as Talia was saying too, I think it's really important that you do sit down and really think about what your hobbies are and what things and actions and activities help you unwind. Because again, as Talia said, it's very different for everyone, and I think people don't put enough emphasis on how hard it actually is to find a hobby, you
That's
know,
very true.
especially as a college student in New York. Like everything is so expensive here. Like it's sometimes it's very limiting, you know. Like what if when you were in high school or something or growing up, you lived right next to a rock climbing center and like you went all the time and like you loved to do that. Like here, I've never been rock climbing here, but I'm sure it costs like a lot of money if you want to go like multiple times a week, you know? So it is hard to figure out what your hobbies are. And that's even something that my dad said. Like, my dad said that recently to me and Bennett. And he was like, when I was younger, albeit it's a very different time and very different circumstances, but he was like, when I was younger and in college, I was so focused on finding a job and making money. And throughout my like 20s and 30s, that's all I was focused on was like my job and like my family, that I'm now like 50 in my 50s, and I don't really know like what my hobbies or interests are. Like he was being a little bit harsh, I think, on himself, because he does have a lot of like hobbies that he likes to do. You know, he loves to row and run, and he's a big reader as well. But yeah, he the basically the point he was trying to make is he was so focused on what he was supposed to do and these like socioeconomic norms that he was supposed to follow, like immediately get a job, grind it, work super hard, that he didn't have time to reflect on different things that would bring him joy. And I just think that's like a very important part of all of our lives. And it's a very, like, life is hard, work is hard. No job, no matter how much you enjoy whatever job, whatever field you're going into, it's difficult. You know, you need to, and especially in this era of social media and TV and everything, you need to find outlets that are not online and that aren't hard, you know, and it's difficult, but it is very necessary to keep you stable and sane. And I think that is something that we learn a little bit the hard way, because so often we only focused on school. And then when we found, or that when we saw that we were kind of like letting go of these hobbies or activities that like bring us joy, like we were getting sadder, you know, like we were getting less motivated, we were getting sadder, you know. We had more of these moments of like, what's the point of this? Like, do I even want to go to STEM? And I don't think, I don't think neither of us has said that in many, many months, you know? And I think that's
true.
because, like, really this semester, and albeit we've had the time, but we also have really, really focused and honed in on what do we like to do? What do we want to do with our free time?
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Damn.
We haven't had that convo in like a long time.
No, we haven't.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's good. Oh, wow. Isn't it crazy that like we're taking the next step of like our career slash like future? Like, it's one thing for us to have been just talking about like, oh, like it used to, I mean, I love neuroscience. I'm in this area of study for like many real, genuine, important reasons. But it used to feel like such a like a casual thing to just be like, yeah, you know, I'm a neuroscience major. Yeah, that's what I'm studying in school. Like, when people would ask me, now it's like, no, like, we're getting our degrees in that. We're moving on to the next step of what that means.
I know. Yeah, before it was just like kind of like it served as like a intro question, like getting to know someone, because like everyone else is a college student. But now like you know, it's like taking on a different meaning of being like our careers.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, I mean, it's like kind of like a duh, but it's crazy to think about it in those terms. Yeah, I mean, it still hasn't hit me that we just took our last final. Like,
mm-hmm. And like, technically, given the fact that we're gonna have degrees, we are knowledgeable resources on neuroscience to a certain extent.
I know.
That's
I know,
crazy.
like, I kind of, even though, like, right before we started this podcast, like, me and Talia did have a little, like, negative talk session about how badly we did with that exam. But my point is that even on that exam, like, there were certain questions about neuroscience and neuroanatomy that, like, I don't even remember discussing in his class, but because I'm a neuroscience major, I was like, oh yeah, this, oh yeah, that, like, I can, and even if I didn't know the exact answer, I was like, okay, well, I know this, and I feel like I can connect these in a way that answers this question, which, you know, like, I really want to pat myself on the back there. Especially, like, things as simple as I haven't looked at a brain map or like, you know, what the lobes are in probably 5 months. And I still could answer that question. Like, okay, that's like, yes, the bare minimum for a neuroscience major, but still, like, it's in there. It's locked in forever.
Mm-hmm. No, it's like, it's very impressive to like think about. But yeah, we're just, it's like slowly hitting me now, like what us graduating means.
Dude.
And then we both have our jobs, our year in the career. Well, I have 2 years. Our years in the like career world, and then we go on to our second level of education, which is like, it's so funny to like talk about our mentors who have these levels of education as if like they're like so far away, and like it's such like a,
I know.
and like we're
and
taking
now we're
those
literally
steps.
a step behind them.
Uh-huh.
Like, we're a step behind them. It's crazy. Soon we're gonna be so disgustingly overeducated. It's crazy. Like, especially you.
That's really funny.
Like,
yeah,
we're gonna reach our 30s and we're gonna be like, God damn, like, our brains hurt.
That's
No.
insane.
No, but it's also crazy to think about how 4 years ago this time, when we were ending like that chapter of our lives, like school, like elementary all the way to high school, like, we were just in such different places, obviously. Like, we were 18, well, I was 17 even, and now, and it's just 4 years later, and like, we've gone through so much and so many different experiences that I don't think either of us could have predicted, and we're super different people. And I'm just kind of thinking about us sitting and doing this podcast, and let's be real, it's probably going to be 10 years.
Yeah,
I mean, for you it is.
For
definitely.
like education-wise,
because you're taking 2 years off, and then it's 8 years after.
Yeah, and then that's not even including like whatever like post.
Yeah, but that's still like education.
Yeah, that's true.
That'll be the end of education. So probably in 10 years, we will be sitting here as 31, 32, and 31-year-olds discussing how we finished all of our education.
That's crazy.
So we definitely will be very different people then. But yeah, I mean, it's just a really weird, interesting feel. It's just a really weird feeling. I'm struggling to put my finger on exactly how I'm feeling about ending this chapter of my life.
Part of me, like, as much work as we've put in, part of me is kind of like, am I ready for this next step? Because I feel like I still view myself as, like, I mean, which is crazy because it's like we've done so much, and like we have experienced so many things that, if anything, make us so qualified for what we're about to step into. But then, like, in my head, when I think of myself and how I view myself, I'm like, wow, like, I'm just this 22-year-old who just graduated college, and suddenly I'm going to be working in, like, a memory lab under a bunch of, like, long-standing PhDs,
and I'm gonna travel across half the world and like live in a new place by myself, like, for 6 months. Like, that's crazy, but that's what adults do. You know what I mean? Like, you get a job in a different country, and then you have to like obviously it's not like a willy-nilly decision, but you still have to like relocate and like upheave. No, that's the wrong word. Like, upheaval, like.
Oh yeah, like that's the word.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, upheaval. Well, wait.
That one.
Uprooting? No.
Uproot?
Because upheaval is correct for what you're trying to say, but in that context,
in the
weird.
Sentence I was saying, it didn't make sense. Can you tell that we slept like 2 hours and 4 hours last night? So. Yeah, it's a little rough right now after all of what we were saying about don't pull all-nighters. Well, we didn't.
I pretended to.
Yeah, you pretended to. You took a little cat nap.
Yeah.
Took a little cat nap. Yeah, I mean, we're being like real grown-ups, Talia. It is kind of scary. Like, sometimes I'm like, I'm not mature enough for this next step. Like, I'm still so young. But yeah, it's just the natural course of things. Like,
Yeah, it's very true.
also, everyone is lost and confused.
That
okay?
part. It doesn't matter how much
Everyone-
experience
yes.
you've had.
It
How
also
long
doesn't
you've been
matter
in the
your
game.
age.
Yeah,
Exactly. Everyone is lost and confused.
that
And
is
that
so
doesn't
true.
mean that it's not scary to, like, I think the other day I kind of, like, found myself feeling very anxious and sad, and I even cried a little bit. And I was like, what is this feel? Like, why am I feeling this way? And I was like, because I'm feeling lost and confused. Like, yes, I have this plan, but at the same time, like, I'm 21. Like, I have no idea what the rest of my life is going to look like. And it's really scary. And I'm really confused.
I forget you're 21 still. Keep going.
Yeah, in a couple months.
Yeah.
I said, like, I literally
No, I know.
referenced
But I
that.
didn't process the fact that you're still 21.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, I just think that we're very young and everyone has a different journey and everyone is lost and confused. And I was saying I found myself feeling a little bit sad the other day, and I was like, like, why am I feeling this way? And I was like, I think because for so long I was telling myself, like, oh, everyone else feels this way, like, everyone else is also lost. Like, I didn't let myself, like, really acknowledge that I also am feeling that way and that it's okay, and just because, and also because everyone else is going through it, it doesn't make it easier, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like something to acknowledge and not to let yourself feel like you're, you know, a step behind your peers or a step behind. Oh, my mom's calling me. Oh my God. I think she definitely would want to say hi to the podcast.
Oh, you should.
May, Talia and I are podcasting right now, like literally live. So do you wanna, and we're reflecting on the end of college, and from someone who has lived a lot longer than us, do you have any parting advice to our listeners as to how to navigate this scary terrain of life post-college? You're speaking to the mic.
I'm speaking to the mic.
Yes.
Don't be scared of what's coming up. Enjoy it and always remember that you can always pivot.
That's
Just
what
move
my
forward.
mom always says, yes. Nothing is set in stone, and you can always change your mind. Okay, thank you. I'll call you back, okay?
All right, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye,
Love
everyone.
you.
Bye.
Goodbye. Happy belated
Bye.
birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, bye. Love you.
Bye. Love you. Bye.
She's so obsessed with the obsessed. She loves the podcast, so
Aww.
I thought that would be fun. I think she'll be
Yes.
really happy to see
She
that
had
she
her,
was
her
featured.
moment of fame. So
She like, I
true.
remember when I was like, shout out mom for like this topic, and she was like, oh my God, like you said shout out mom, and I was like, yes, my queen.
Aww. So cutie.
Okay. I don't really remember what I was saying before that, but I know I was talking a lot, so handing the baton over to you.
I don't really have much else to say. I think just like on the topic of identity, it is a really crazy time. Like, I thought of myself as like Talia, the neuroscience undergraduate, for a long time, and I'm not that anymore. So I think a lot of this year is going to be like, not soul searching, but like reassigning who I consider myself to be now. And that's not just me saying like, oh, I reduced myself to a neuroscience major. It's just like, it was such a major part of our lives. It was hard not to.
It's how you introduce yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like anyone who doesn't know you, you're like, oh yeah, hi, I'm Sofia, I'm Talia. Like, the next question is like, what do you do? Like, oh, I'm in school for neuroscience.
Yeah.
You know, like it is a really big part of your identity. And yeah, now we're gonna, I don't know, we are transitioning to this weird time where we're like, oh, like you're gonna be a research assistant fully, right? That's gonna be your like
my like title.
Your title. Like, I don't even know what I'm gonna be. I'm like technically an intern, but also a research assistant, but not in the same way that you are. Because it's not like a lab.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like a research and development center, but it's not like a lab.
Right.
So I don't really know.
Well, that's something we'll have to work on.
I'll find out.
What's the elevator pitch now?
Y'all will find out. So when we reconvene after we vote, because I think like the next episode is probably only going to be in like September via Zoom.
Yeah, because we are going to take our little hiatus.
Yeah, and high-key, like, I'll invest in this, but, like, I'm gonna, like, get some cool headphones and, like, mini microphones.
Oh, I would too. Wait,
so
that'd
it
be
looks,
so
like,
cutie.
more profesh.
That would be really cute.
Yeah.
I fuck with that. Well, is there anything else we'd like to say in this long part 2?
I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who does watch the podcast. It truly means a lot to us, and we do put a lot of time and effort into keeping these episodes engaging, and, you know, we're not professionals, and this is our first time doing this, so thank you to everyone for bearing with us while we figure out technical difficulties, while we figure out, like, moments where we kind of don't have a direction or a topic in our episodes, but we've really enjoyed this project. Like, I've really enjoyed this project a lot, and I hope everyone keeps spreading the word about it, because Talia and I are very passionate about mentorship and connecting with others and sharing our story. And especially after COVID, everyone's like in their little worlds and their little bubbles, so, you know, go forth and form connections.
Go forth. Yes.
And promote the podcast.
Yes, especially, like, we have had humble beginnings. A lot of you guys know, if you've been sticking with us from the start, and, like, finding our footing and figuring out how we want to go about this. But I think in, like, our interviews especially, we've started to find, like, a niche that works really well.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we're now both going to be going into, like all into the research and, like, professional worlds, we'll have so much more insight to provide and so many more people who can also give you guys advice.
Yeah, so after our, like, 3-4 month hiatus, we're going to have so many more people that we can invite on the podcast. So get ready for super exciting season 3 reboot.
Yeah, very true. And just like she said, continue to spread the word. Follow us on Instagram. It's how you'll get updates. Give us suggestions on what you want to hear, who you might want to hear from. But yeah, thank you guys for sticking it out with us. I remember when we started this, I was like, oh, no one's going to watch this. I didn't think anyone would. But then we have, like, a consistent viewership. And it's, like, a decent amount of people, too. So
we love you guys.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. And yeah, I have nothing else to say, really.
Me too. Thank you, Talia. Thank you for being my partner, my podcast partner, my lab partner, my study partner sometimes when you allow
it. You're funny. Wait, you're saying goodbye like we're, like, not gonna...
I just mean in this room.
Okay, well, thank you, Sophia, for the past 4 years being a constant grounding source in everything we've done, whether it's been classes, our podcasts, navigating, like, weird social situations. Like, I feel like we've kind of been through it all. Yeah.
We've been through it all.
So I appreciate having you as a partner. Yeah. So with that, I guess we're closing out lab reports for now.
Yeah, we are. So stay tuned, guys, and thank you all so much.
All right.
Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright.